Hey Thrive Loud listeners, this is Allie.
This is Kayla.
And this is Kelsey. And we're the trio that really gets things done here on Thrive Loud.
We have a great episode coming up today, but first we need your support.
For starters, please subscribe to Thrive Loud on either iTunes or Overcast.
If you're an iTunes listener, give us a rating and write what you like about the show.
And if you're an Overcast listener, make sure to click that little gold star to recommend our show.
If you want to learn more about future episodes, upcoming guests, and other great things happening with Thrive Loud,
go to thriveloud.com and fill out the Get Connected form at either the top or bottom of the page.
Thanks again, and let's get on with the show.
This episode is brought to you by Hinge Consulting. If you're doing business on Amazon and you need to overcome the obscurity of that marketplace, Hinge Consulting will lay out the game plan that works best for your business. HingeConsulting.co. Success hinges on well-executed strategies. Hinge Consulting delivers on them.
Today on Thrive Loud.
If my mom could do it like that with no experience, then, with all that I have, thanks to her and my dad, then, hey, I should be able to do something too.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, I bring you one of the co-founders of Goodshop, host of the program Your Business on msnbc, and best-selling author of It's Your Business. Thrive Loud listeners, we have JJ Ramberg here. How are you, JJ?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So for the Thrive Loud listeners, I always like to tout some of the connections that I have. And JJ and I met in New York City when she was the MC at the C-Suite Network Conference back in November of 2017. And she has a great story. Not only, obviously, she's on TV and, she's a rock star in every sense of the word, but she also has an amazing company and a great journey on what that's about. So, JJ, this is an opportunity for the Thrive Loud community to hear a little from you. Talk to us about how you kind of moved everything up and how Goodshop came to be, because I think it's a great story.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, it was so long ago. I started the company with my brother, Ken, and for anyone who doesn't know what it is, we are basically a coupon aggregator for online coupons. So, when you get to, let's just say you're shopping at the Gap and you see that submit coupon box and you think, if there's a box there must be a coupon, but I don't feel like going to search for it. Well, we aggregate all those coupons at Goodshop, and we have a browser plugin called Gumdrop, which actually puts them in automatically for you. But Ken and I started this back in 2005.
Wow.
And
Oh my
we
goodness.
started, a percentage of what you spend at the stores goes back to your favorite cause if you choose one. And so we started it because I've always wanted to start a socially responsible company. And so we started the company as Good Search, where every time you searched, a penny would go to your favorite cause. And it was literally Ken working from his house, me working from my little apartment in New York City, and a contract designer and a contract programmer. And I would work 24 hours a day in my pajamas from my, dining room table / office.
Those are very popular these days. That in the den or the living room, one of the two. So.
Yeah, well, by the way, it was all one and the same. I was in a little apartment in New York City. Yeah,
yeah. Keep going.
But this was pre-social media, right? I couldn't even let anyone know about this on Facebook or Twitter. MySpace was just starting, basically, when we were doing it. We got the word out by faxing to nonprofits, if you can believe it.
Oh, man. That's
Not
amazing.
funny?
I can't even find a fax machine any of these days. Every now and then I had an insurance company say, can you fax it to me? I go, if you could find me a fax machine in the nearby area, I could do it. So I totally get it.
And meanwhile, why? Why not just scan and email it? Right? Why were they asking for you to fax anything? Yes. But in those days, right, we emailed people also, but we found a lot of success with faxing people because no one was getting any other faxes. And so when they got one, they looked at it.
And then from there, how did you get the word out community-wise? Obviously with the internet growing, it became a lot easier. And it's been I can't believe it's been going on for this many years. I'm actually my head is spinning because I'm familiar with it from that. But
yeah, I know, 12 years. It's been I got married. I had 3 kids. A lot has happened since I founded this company. So when we launched Good Search, and again, it was so kind of, not haphazard, but it was just me and Ken and our 2 contractors working on this thing. The first day we launched, it was in this daily newsletter called Daily Candy, which doesn't exist anymore, but at the time was the thing that broke down company servers, right? Because if you were in Daily Candy, everyone read it and everyone would buy the product or check out the service or whatever it is. And so we were in Daily Candy with a thing that basically said, hey, every time you search a penny, we'll go to your favorite cause. And so we got tons of users, and that is how we marketed it, just through press, word of mouth, and through the nonprofit. And so fast forwarding a few years, we then launched a shopping arm to Good Search, which we called Goodshop. And every time you shopped, a percentage of what you spent would go to your favorite cause. And then we launched coupons as part of Goodshop. And then we realized that in everything that we were doing, the shopping and the coupons is what people wanted the most. And so we took all of our resources and just focused 100% on getting the best coupons for our consumers because we wanted to have the best product out there. And here we are today.
And it's still thriving, literally, as we it's still out there today. You're very proud of it, obviously. Well, I guess maybe that's a real question. What are you most proud of? Is it the success that it's still around today, or the growth that it's had to this point?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. I am very proud that it's still around. I host the show on msnbc about growing businesses, and I know how hard it is to have a business that stays for the long haul. So I am proud of that. I'm really proud about how much money we have saved people. Right? It's not something that I originally set out to do. It wasn't the original company. But once I realized what a big deal it was, right? I go shopping. There's a thrill of getting a coupon and getting 20% off when you didn't expect to.
It's so true.
But there is also, there are real implications for that, for a lot of people who are just really trying to save every dime, or even if you're not at the point where 20% matters to get food on the table, but at least to take that 20% and go do something great for your kids or for yourself. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the millions of dollars we've raised on for nonprofits and schools. So it's and I'm not proud of, but I'm very happy that I've worked with my brother for 12 years. And
that's awesome.
Been one of the most amazing experiences.
So let's spin back to a role that you and I sit in the same chair, just in different forums. You have a little bit of a bigger audience than I do, but we're getting there. Your show on msnbc, you have really a front row seat to seeing some unbelievable business stories. Talk to me a little bit about the experience in there. Obviously, you are truly seeing a breadth of every range of different types of companies, industries. And it's a spectacular spot to sit in. I know, having sat in this seat and hearing some unbelievable thriving businesses and stories, it's incredible. What's it been for you, obviously, with the show on MSNBC?
Oh, well, I've been so lucky, right? Because I've gotten to have, both ways. Either I learned stuff at Goodshop that then I can talk about on the show, or I learned something on the show that I go, immediately back to Goodshop and say, we have to go do this. But I have really been fascinated with the innovation innovation, of course, tech innovation, et cetera, is fascinating. I just came back from CES, where there were robots everywhere I turned, and massage chairs that were going to fix me, and goggles that were going to ease all my stress, and it's amazing. So, of course, that kind of innovation is so cool, but the innovation in how people run their businesses and culture is what I am really fascinated by. And how HR departments or founders or managers are really working much harder than I believe they used to try and get the best out of everyone.
Oh, that's great. JJ, here's a good question. Someone asked me this question. They said, I'm at the time of airing this right now, there are 60 episodes of Thrive Loud out there, and there are about 100 by the time, somewhere between you and 60 and 100 when you come on. Here's a question. Someone asked me, what was one of the most amazing stories that you heard that literally when you were on the air hearing it, it just was like such an aha moment? And there's so many of them. Do you have any favorites of guests that you've had on the show or stories that you've covered that have really resonated with you? And exactly as you said, almost made you say, this is something we have to do for our company, and anything that sticks out.
Oh yeah. I've got, so the book, the reason we wrote the book, It's Your Business, and this came out quite a while ago now, is because there were all of these tiny things that people were doing that I thought, oh, I should be doing that, right? And these aren't big picture things. They were little things that had big changes. I'll give you an example of one. I went to interview these two women who started this Pilates studio in New York City. And when I was they were sisters, when I was sitting in the waiting room, waiting for the interview, just in the front, the reception area, someone walked in and said to the receptionist, you guys have yoga here. And she said, we have Pilates and we have blah, 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 blah. She listed all of these classes that she has, and I forget what one of them was called. This was a while ago now, but let's just say it was called Pilates Plus or something. She said, we have Pilates Plus. Have you ever tried that? And the woman said no, and then the receptionist went on to explain what Pilates Plus was, and she signed her up for a class. And I remember just sitting there thinking, here's just a normal interaction, but it struck me that the receptionist didn't say, no, we don't have yoga. She never said the word no.
Right.
And never said they didn't have yoga. And so I just found that interesting, and I asked the founders about that, and they said, oh, we've trained all of our employees to never say no.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. She said, yeah, no is a conversation ender, and she said what we want to have is conversation extender.
Great.
And it was so simple that I then brought that home. And at the time, Goodshop was still relatively new, and I was still doing some of the customer service. And I started to play this game with myself. Like when I answered the phone for customer service, how would I not say no when somebody asked me something? It was brilliant and so simple.
It's brilliant. I think you're familiar. Tina Fey has often talked about this. A lot of the lessons from improv. You're never allowed to say the word no in improv. In fact, it's always a yes type response. And whether you knew it or not, that's the positive mindset. And it actually instills positivity to those that are there, as opposed to not only ending the conversation, but also setting them in the wrong frame of mind. And yes is a powerful word. I interviewed a media colleague of yours, Mary Carrillo, and she talked about the power of just saying yes to everything. And that really had to do with the work that she took on, whether it be ping pong or badminton in the Olympics. So,
but then there's a whole other thought of you have to start saying no to things, or else you find that you don't have time to breathe.
Polite ways to say no, exactly. So JJ, I love asking the Thrive Loud guests this question. When you have trouble thriving, who do you turn to get back on the thriving track?
Well, a lot of people. My husband, my brother, my dad, my sister, my best friend. But what I really think of the most is my mother, who sadly passed away, but she was a stay-at-home mom until she was in her mid to late 40s, when my brother, my co-founder now, came to her with a business idea. And think this, he was just graduated college. This was pre-internet, so it's not like, 47-year-old women and 21-year-old recent college grads were starting companies left and right. He came to her with an idea, and they started it. And everyone told them it would be a failure. And they worked so hard, and they worked on it for 13 years, and eventually sold it to Monster.com. And I just think my mom had no work experience, and she was in her late 40s, and everyone told her this was going to be a disaster, and she never listened to them. And it was really hard. And she had to work so hard, and she had to convince so many people and be an amazing salesperson, but she did it. And so I think if my mom could do it like that, with no experience, then, with all that I have, thanks to her and my dad, then, hey, I should be able to do something too.
Oh, that's great. And a powerful.
And another thing, actually, now that I think about it, the other thing I think is is always think about what you have and not what you don't have.
Right.
And that change of mindset there gets you when you're feeling a little bit bad about things, or why didn't this deal go through, or why didn't blah, 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 blah. Well, lucky me that I am here, and I am in the position to, hopefully go out and get another deal.
Yeah, it's really important. This is something that I coach a lot of top performers on. This is that recognizing those limiting beliefs that pop in there, those people telling your mom that you can't do the things that she wanted to do, or it would be impossible. And sometimes those voices can echo and tell yourself. And you're right, it really is important to spin the glass, or look at it half full, and not look at the bad situation, but flip it to, hey, look at what I do have. Look what it's currently in front of me. And look how much I can take with just that. And it's so often we don't go to that place because we might get beat up by failures or losses. And that's it's a great message, and it's great that you're really looking within too, I guess, in looking to your mom as a great inspiration, and for both you and your brother. So that's a nice role model to have come from, JJ.
I think also I thought, I was so lucky with my role model, and as we know, it can be so influential. But I also I find with a lot of people that I talk to through my msnbc work, because entrepreneurs are so celebrated right now in a way that they weren't 20 years ago, right? And some people's success is so big, and it feels like it's overnight, that a lot of people that I talk to compare themselves to the person who, I do a lot of stuff in the tech world, right? Just sold their company for $50 million, $250 million, whatever it is, which is it. And so you forget how rare that is.
Yes.
And how that is not what you should be comparing yourself to. For these, I talk to people a lot about that.
JJ, along the lines of this, I spoke with a woman who's actually a career coach, more of a personal coach than a leadership or business coach. And she has made an incredible practice out in Silicon Valley dealing with people who are millionaires and are upset with themselves that they're not billionaires, and literally totally stuck in that bubble. And one of the exercises that she does is she literally has them come out and meet her in an area that is so far away from that, that doesn't have all of the luxuries of the the community and place that they're in. And she has this workshop where she literally has them live in like regular middle America for about 3 or 4 days. It is fascinating, and it is game changing for them, because you get stuck in a bubble for so long you can't see outside of it. And
whatever bubble that is, and that is a super rarefied bubble that you're talking about, but it's just an exaggeration of what I have found that a lot of people feel in whatever their job is or career is, right? You do need to step out of that bubble and, again, learn to appreciate what you have. And that gives you the base to move forward and hopefully achieve what you want to achieve next.
So true. JJ, what's ahead for you? Give me some of the things that are, we're at the time of the recording, this is the beginning of 2018. So what are some of the big goals for JJ Ramberg this year on the show, or personally? What do you have ahead for you?
Well, I just released another book that I wrote with my sister and a friend of ours called The Startup Club, which is for kids. It's a fiction book for basically 2nd through 5th graders about kids who start businesses. And our idea was it's so fun. It was, the idea was to create a very typical children's book, right? 2 best friends, the mean girl copies them, the best friend's gonna fight, right? But through it, give a role model for kids about starting a business and give them the sort of basic tenets of personal finance. And so my goal for this year is to get that book out as much as possible. I have a secret goal, which is I really want to host a game show.
Okay, what type of game show do you want to host? And I want to hear this, because there's a lot of fun ones out there now. I mean, like,
I know
Ellen DeGeneres has like the Game of Games, which is absolutely hysterical. And then obviously they brought back Match Game and $100,000 Pyramid. What do you want to host?
I know. Do you know that I want to do like supermarket sweep. I mean, not that particular one.
Okay. Oh
I know, it's so funny. I'm not even setting my sights to a network. I'm like, I want to be on the GSN game show network on like a full game show, like not all the bells and whistles, just like a down home game show.
That is awesome. But by the way, I will put
I
the show.
fear that I'm going to
What
I'm
were
going to talk to you in
Sorry.
2019, and I'm not quite sure this is going to have happened. But to me, that sounds so fun.
All I could tell you is, maybe we can make a game show effort out of one of the C-suite conferences that you could MC.
Oh, right.
That might be a way to do it, right?
Oh, no, you know what I want to do? Family game night. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have seen that. Well, first of all, they are intoxicated. That's Jane Lynch's show, or whatever it is, right? They're sitting on the couch and they're.
Oh, no, not that one.
Oh, it's a different
Not that one. Yeah.
Oh,
No, this is one with.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yes, this is like families. It's kids and parents. It's super fun. It's not as flashy as that Hollywood one. No, that Jane Lynch show is really funny. I watched that on the plane the other day. We're big also trivia HQ players in my house.
I got to tell you. So my daughter was the one that got me into that, and now it's like 3:00 and 9:00 Eastern. I get alerts about this on my phone to go do it. And what I'm most frustrated about is I know a lot of ridiculous trivia information, but I can't win the money in this different thing. These questions are crazy.
You haven't been able to win the $2.42.
Yeah, it seems like there's like 1 million people going on at once, and they're trying to chop up $2,000 and like 1,000 win or something. So
it's so awesome. I mean, the growth of that has been so amazing to watch, I think.
Maybe, actually, let's think about this, JJ. We could use this show as a plug and a bounce for that. I think that we should possibly have you be one of the people asking the questions on the HQ. Get you to achieve that short-term dream. JJ, give me all of the plugs and the places where people can find you, obviously on the show, and anything on the web as well, Goodshop, etc. So this is your chance to plug away here.
Okay, here we go. There's so many. I'm going to try and narrow it down. Okay,
and I'll list them all in the show
goodshop.com.
notes, and I promise I'll also try to list the children's book if it's out by the time we do this. So,
Oh, yeah, it's out. It's out.
Okay, great.
Goodshop.com. Gumdrop. GetGumdrop.com is the browser plugin, which automatically puts in the best coupons for you when you're shopping online. That's the easiest. MSNBC is, so your business airs at 7:30 in the morning on the weekends, Eastern time on MSNBC. And the new children's book is called The Startup Club.
Awesome. And I will put all the links to all of that on the show notes next to your wonderful picture here. And make sure that everybody sees it when the episode comes out. And this is great. I have a signature question, JJ, that I ask all the Thrive Loud guests. You ready for it?
Uh-oh. Yeah?
What's your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, movie. Shoot. I'm not a great movie person. I thought you were going to say book. Crossing to Safety. All-time favorite.
Okay, well, we'll list that as well. Is
Can't I
there
just
any
do
particular
book?
movie that you like as well?
Hi.
You're not a movie person? I actually would have tagged you as someone that would be a relatively movie person. I know, you're your mom and busy. You don't get to go out there. But there must be some movie that's always resonated with you in the past.
No, from the past. No, I like a lot of movies, but I'm not a movie buff, right? I'm not like, here's the movie that I love. Oh, no. None that I want to hang my hat on. I'm going to keep with my book.
We'll stick with the book. I like that. We'll go in with where that
I'm
is.
afraid if I name one movie, it's going to define me, and I just don't love any movie enough for it to define me on this. If it's just one, my favorite, right?
To make you feel any better, I've had actually people list Dumb and Dumber as sometimes their favorite movie. So, the range of where this could be, from epic classics to, like The Godfather to that silliness. I've heard it all.
Willy Wonka, the original Willy Wonka.
The original Willy Wonka is a great movie. I do like that. And The Everlasting Gobstopper. And I have a small world story that I one time was at this conference, and the woman who played the one who turned into the blueberry, she was actually
Violet.
at that particular conference. Violet, yeah, she was there, obviously grown up, and you never would have recognized her, but it was really funny.
Right. All right. I'm going to go with the original Willy Wonka.
All right, we'll go with that. JJ Ramberg, thank you so much for coming on Thrive Loud. This was fun, quick, and thanks for finding the time to come on.
Oh, thank you. This was great. Thanks so much.
You got it. And to all the Thrive Loud listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Thrive Loud, or find us on the web at thrivepartners.net.